Hello, and thanks for tuning in again. Well, today we're going to watch an engagement between the French and the Austrians. Each force is valued at 2,500 points, which is getting up there for the size that you can put on the tables for a reasonable game. Of course, we're using the tricolour rules, and it's not scripted, so it will just be played out. I believe the French are defending today and the Austrians will go on the attack. Alrighty, so let's see how this one plays out. Thanks. Okay, let's have a quick look at the French order of battle. Left-hand flank is the 24th Line Regiment. That's where the commander is as well. We move into the middle and we'll see the 3 heavy guns with a battalion of Old Guard. They have Irish lights over to the left as well. In the middle, we have the 25th Line Regiment, 3 battalions making that up. And on the right-hand flank, the 10th Line Regiment. Now, behind that is a regiment of Carbineers, the only French cavalry on the table today, and safely tucked away behind that is their supply train. So they are on the defensive. They have 3 heavy guns, not a lot of cavalry, reasonable amount of infantry. Let's have a look at what the Austrians have to attack them with. On the Austrian left flank, we have the 3rd Line Regiment with light cavalry there and a grenadier battalion. Into the middle, we have their guns, which today are 2 howitzers and 2 field, with the Freya light battalion out in front there. Over on behind we have a battalion of Austrian militia guarding the baggage train. There's the commander with his generals, and over on the Austrian left flank we have the 2nd Line Regiment with a grenadier battalion accompanying it, and right out on the left-hand flank are the Hussars. So that's the Austrians. Interesting force, and looking back at the French, that they'll soon be attacking. The battle begins with the cannons. Okay, let's watch this action unfold. The Austrians have advanced, and as they get closer to the French, they go from column into line. It's the 3rd Line Regiment of the Austrians. They'll form in line to face the 1st Battalion of the 10th French Line Regiment. As they advance towards one another, there will be a volley traded at long range. They will then stop to reload and advance closer to one another into medium range, and another volley is exchanged, and I believe the 1st Battalion breaks under that volley. The Austrian battalions are bigger than the French, so there's more fire, but there's less Austrian battalions. As French battalions break and move backwards, they are replaced by fresh battalions from the same regiments. You'll see the Freya lights moving in to the Austrian right flank as they were ordered to do, forming a continuous line out there, and the French in return will send out a battalion to face them, and I believe it's going to be from the 25th Line Regiment. The units are loading, moving, firing. Casualties are accumulating underfoot. It's turning into a real horrid battlefield. But still, new battalions are pushed forward into the line to stem the Austrian advance. The Freya Lights are elite troops. Their fire is very accurate, and they are punishing the the 2nd Battalion, the 25th. The French are virtually almost out of battalions now. Oh no, there's another one coming up in the rear. They're naval troops, I believe, left over from the French fleet, which never got to invade England and have been seconded into the army. So they're marching up now to form into line as units or remnants of battalions retreat around them. The Austrians are suffering. Their battalions are getting smaller. They're bringing forward their grenadiers, who have moved through a battalion of line to take the pressure off them. And as fresh troops, they're pouring volleys into, I believe now, the 2nd Battalion of the 10th Line Regiment. And they look like they're retreating as well. The remnants now of the Freya Lights and the Grenadiers have turned on the last standing French battalion, the 3rd 25th, and have poured a volley into it. And yes, it's broken and retreating. However, the Freya Lights and the Grenadiers are down to such numbers now, they're retreating too. Meanwhile, the French guns have all been put out of action due to casualties. They have seen off 2 of the Austrian howitzers. The Austrians have 2 field guns still in action. The Carbineers have been beaten by the Austrian Hussars and are in retreat, but they're not done for yet. I'm sure they will reform. Yes, they have, and in they go again. And how is this battle going to shape up? Oh, it's the Austrians who are now in retreat. There's been quite a few casualties on either side, but I do believe the Austrian Hussars have taken the worst of it. They have been chased back up the field by the Carbineers, who, under orders, have secured now the Emperor's right flank, and they've turned and attacked into the rear of the Austrians. The Austrians guarding the ammunition train. And so the battle peters out on the French left flank. You can see that their forces have not been engaged. They're in perfect order. French artillery, of course, is out of action. Casualties taken have stopped the guns firing. The Austrians still have 2 field guns in good order, but the battle's over. The scene of the carnage on the French right flank, it's just horrific. The shattered battalions and where the cavalry battle took place. The scene of the Austrian surrender after the square, which was a militia battalion, was shattered by the French carbineers. And like the French, the Austrian right-hand flank is in good order, but they have been ordered to lay down their arms. Now that was a battle and a half. The attack by the Austrian left almost succeeded in beating the French right. They fought each other to a standstill, and it so happens in a lot of these battles, if only the Austrians had one more battalion to throw in, one more battalion, they might have broken through and taken the baggage train. Of course, while that was happening, the artillery was pounding each other, and all the French guns were put out of action due to casualties. They chased off 2 of the howitzers of the Austrians, but the Austrians had 2 field guns left and could probably have started to bring them forward, which would have caused the French all sorts of nastinesses. However, the carbineers, after being beaten by the hussars in the first attack, reformed, came back, beat the Austrian hussars and chased them off, then went in to attack the baggage train, which was protected by a battalion of Austrian militia. The commander, being caught with absolutely nothing on the flank, instead of leaving the troops in line, formed them into square, best defence against cavalry, but they were militia. The carbineers broke the square and took the commander captive, and he then surrendered the field to the French, which is the first time in any of our games the commander has actually been captured, so that's a first. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoy that battle. It's not onerously long to watch, and you know, it's got the makings there of one of the better engagements, because it's predominantly all infantry, but of course, once again, cavalry snatched victory for the French. All right, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, and I'll keep bringing them to you.